Some of the foundational information that you need to know about nutrition includes nutrition. What is it? A nutrient. What are they? A calorie. What is A? As I've mentioned before, we're going to go over all the macromolecules as well as vitamins and minerals. This is going to give you an overview of some of the concepts that are associated with those compounds and molecules, as well as we'll have the opportunity to discuss things like nutrient density, energy balance, and so on. So let's jump in. There are 6 classes of nutrients. 3 of those are going to fit into one category, which is the category of macromolecules, and we've been over those. Carbohydrates are particularly important because of everyone's favorite dietary fiber. Vitamins, minerals, as well as water are the other 3 nutrients. Never forget water. We are about 2/3 water. We're basically big old sacks of water within our skin. Water is super important for a number of reasons. You require all of these to stay alive, to maintain, repair, and grow. The essential nutrients are ones that the body can either not synthesize on its own or makes in such small quantities you can't support life. So how do we get them? You got to eat them. When you are looking at nutrients and their chemical composition, you'll find that some are organic, which means they're molecules or compounds that are containing carbon, and others are inorganic. And we'll talk a little bit more about the difference in those types of molecules and compounds momentarily. You need to be able to replenish your nutrients and create energy continuously to maintain your health. The best way to do that is to consume a well-rounded, moderate diet. So eat a lot of different things that are as processed as little as possible and eat proper portions. This is a totally cool fact. Chemical analysis of us, of our bodies, pretty much mirror the composition of the foods that we consume, and that should make sense. So I would never put something like this chart on a test and say, okay, so that green area indicates 10% of what? However, this shows you the elemental makeup from the nutrients that we consume. And people who are more visually oriented like charts. So there you have it. Most of the solid material in the body is going to be made up of our friends, those macromolecules. You do need teeny amounts of micromolecules, these micronutrients, so the vitamins, the minerals, as well as some other compounds. We already said this, but I'll repeat it again. Basically, you are what you eat, because when you are doing a complete mass analysis, it's going to show you that the body is made up of materials that pretty much mirror the materials of the food that you eat. This chart shows you the difference between organic and inorganic molecules. Inorganic molecules tend to be quite small. They will contain, or potentially could contain, either carbon or hydrogen, not both, water, carbon dioxide, NaCl, our friend table salt. Those are all inorganic molecules. Organic molecules / compounds are carbon-based. They can include hydrogen. They can be added on to each other to make ginormous molecules. They are composed of various monomers, fancy way for saying building blocks. In other words, here's an example. When you're talking about a protein, you're actually talking about a whole bunch of amino acids that are strung together and then folded back. Those chains will be folded back upon themselves. Again, they tend to be quite large, and they are those macromolecules that I keep talking about We will be going into more depth on each of those categories in other modules. The simplest of our nutrients are minerals. They are a chemical element. Each is going to be a chemical element. The atoms are all alike, and the identity never changes, no matter where it is, whether it's inside your body or outside your body. They are all inorganic. They are also essential. So let's look at iron, for example. Iron is going to be iron, whether it's raw in raw food like spinach or meat, cooked in spinach or meat, or actually is in the body. So, for example, as part of a red blood cell, iron is iron is iron. Water is a small compound, and it is crucial for life. H2O, it's going to be super important for life. And then the chemical composition of other nutrients are the lipids, carbs, proteins, and vitamins. They are all going to be more complex molecules than minerals and water. They will all contain hydrogen, they will all contain oxygen, and they will also contain carbon. Carbon is an element that is found in all living things, and they're organic. All these compounds are organic. We mentioned essential nutrients. Those are going to be ones that the body can synthesize in small amounts. Some of them can be synthesized in small amounts, but you don't make all of them. Some are produced in such small quantities, they don't meet the demands of the body, so you actually have to eat them. So you have to eat essential nutrients. So again, the nutrients that you have to obtain through food by eating are essential nutrients. The energy yielding nutrients are going to be the ones that can actually provide us with energy. And what a surprise, they're our friends, the macromolecules. Vitamins, minerals, water do not yield energy. They're either too small or they don't contain enough carbon and hydrogen. So vitamins, minerals, water don't yield energy if they're broken down. Calories, what the heck is a calorie? They are these teeny little units of energy. They are so teeny that if you're eating a single apple, you're getting tens of thousands of them. Here's an easy definition. How much heat does it take to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water 1 degree Celsius? That'll give you calories. It will not ask you to calculate that on an assessment. You should watch this video, though. It's interesting, and yes, indeed, the material that is in it is fair game for the next assessment. Nope, I don't want to run those. There you go. Okay, now, the amount of energy a food provides is going to be directly dependent on, 1, its mass, and 2, its chemical composition. So high-fat foods will provide way more energy per weight than low-fat foods. Most of the foods that we eat are going to contain all 3 of the energy-yielding nutrients. In other words, those macromolecules also contain water, minerals, vitamins, and other stuff. So sometimes I hear people say, oh yeah, meat is just a protein. And yes, it is. But it's also going to contain fat and vitamins and minerals. So it's really not particularly accurate to describe a food as its predominant nutrient. As we go into the next section, we're going to talk more about the nutrients, sort of a high-level overview. So stay tuned. More as it happens.